Fletcher, Public Works Director for the City of Goldsboro. I'm here with Chad Edge, the Deputy Director, as well as Octavius Murphy, the Assistant to the City Manager. We're here to go over some recent changes in the recycling industry and try to relay how those changes are going to affect not only our staff here collecting the recyclables, but how it's going to affect our citizens and our customers in the near future. The biggest change that we're seeing right now is what they're no longer going to take. And so in order to forego and prevent some additional fees being incurred on us, we're going to stop taking those items more than likely. And those are the glass, as well as recyclables, things that were currently recyclable, the plastics 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's the biggest impact I think right now that we're going to see. People are accustomed to putting these glass bottles and stuff in the recycle bin. Well, now they're going to have to put them in the trash bin. The same with some of the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 plastics. You're going to have to pay more attention to those plastic containers that typically just went into the recycle bin, and make sure we put those plastics in the trash that no longer can be recycled. Chad, if you want to kind of go over some of the things that we are going to continue to take.
Okay, first we'll start here on the left with paper items. We got newspaper, paper bags, your paper magazines and junk mail that you get, flyers in the mail, office paper, let's see, envelopes, post-it notes, again, catalogs, those kind of things, but also, paperboard and corrugated cardboard we'll take, make sure that it's clean and dry, but also flatten it so that it goes in the box a lot easier and helps us with saving space in the truck so we can collect more. The next thing is plastics 1 and 2. As Rick mentioned, plastics 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are no longer accepted. You can take them to the landfill or to Wayne County convenience site, but the city's no longer collecting it. So these are some examples of plastics 1 and 2. Typically it's a container that contains liquid, such as detergent, milk, vinegar, soda, water bottles, juice bottles. It typically be either a colored plastic or a clear bottle. One thing to note though, when you do put these plastics in the recycle bin, check the caps or any part of it to make sure there's not a mixed plastic. So in this case, the detergent bottle, the lid is actually made of number 5, which we no longer accept. So it has to go in the trash, but this can go in the recycle bin. Also make sure that all of these are empty of any food and liquids. Here's a case where we may reject taking your recyclables just because there's liquid still in the containers. Very simple, take the lid off, dump it out, or finish it and put the lid back on and just stick it in our recycle bin. The next thing is metals. We do still collect aluminum cans, beverage cans, and tin and steel cans, which typically have food and vegetables, those kind of things. So just keep that in mind, that do not bag the recyclables. We have an example here of, in this bag is aluminum cans, plastic bottles, 1 and 2, and some paper, all of which are perfectly acceptable recyclables, but because they're in this bag, it contaminates the whole load. So please leave the bags out. The bags are the #1 cause of contamination that cities find in the material recycling facilities. The bags get wrapped up around the equipment, and also, the workers on the sorting lines are not going to take the time to open these bags. So your hard work to collect these recyclables is going to go to the landfill, because they're going to take this bag and throw it in the landfill. They're not even going to take time to open it. And so just keep that in mind. Just keep everything loose and free in the container, and we'll be good. Now, the things that we do not accept, as Rick mentioned, glass is probably the biggest impact. And here, the glass goes in the trash now, not in the recycle bin. So just any kind of glass, broken glass mirrors, glass bottles, very simple, put it in the trash. Plastics 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you have to do a little work to look for the symbols and make sure that it's not a 1 or 2, but that's going to go in the trash as well. As you can see, some other items, we got pizza boxes, any paper products that are tainted with food, we're not going to want. Styrofoam, the packing peanuts that you see, all this goes in the trash. Wood products, furniture, large items like that can go in the trash. Scrap metal, while it is recyclable, and even some of these others are really still considered recyclable, we just don't collect them because of the facility we take it to. But scrap metal tends to be very large items, and there are metal recyclers in the area that you can take it to. You might even get some money for it. Again, this is plastic number 5, I believe, and you got rubber, plastic wraps, and films. While it may have a number 1 or a 2 on it, we don't accept it because, again, it gets like a bag. It gets wrapped up in the equipment, and it just needs to go into the trash. These are some other items we find, just large, irregular items, everyday items you can find in the home. But because of they're not easy to sort or separate, we just don't collect them to take them to a recycling facility. So they go into our refuse container, which is the green one here, and you'll be good to go. If you're in doubt, if you're not sure which can to put it in, just put it in the green one with the refuse, or you can actually call our office or check our website for the listing and get some more information.
We simply ask for your patience as we go through these changes. We appreciate your patience. We'll work with you any way we can. We have some other initiatives that are going to come out soon as well. We have a flyer we're going to start putting in the bills, and a few other things, maybe Facebook postings and things of that nature. We're going to try to get out and educate as much as we can, but we simply ask for your patience as we move through these changes and educate our staff. We're also open to educate you so we can make this a seamless transition to the new requirement. And like you said, when in doubt, throw it out. Help us help you. We have some phone numbers that are going to be on the flyers you can call if you have questions as well. So anything you want to
Absolutely. As residents, the idea behind this is to make sure we are in a position to save costs. We don't want to have to transfer this cost of recycling to you, so we're going to keep you in mind always. Just to reiterate, the products that we're no longer going to take are glass. And your styrofoam items?
We've never taken the styrofoam.
Okay.
The other big change is going to be we're no longer going to take the plastics 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And as Chad pointed out, you may have a recyclable container that we take, but it may have a lid that's a 5 that we're no longer going to take. So your attention, a little more work, a little more effort, but we're just simply asking for you to have patience and work with us.
And the ones and twos will continue.
Yes.
How does the resident, how does the owner know the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, and the 7s?
It's a good question. On the containers, a lot of cases there's a recycling symbol. It's a triangular looking symbol, and usually there is a number 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 inside that emblem or somewhere on the container. So you just have to look on the container. Most people are accustomed to doing that, and can find it. Sometimes it's stamped in the material itself. Right here, this one's on the bottom. It's got a number 1, PETE. So very, very easy to find it. It's a universal symbol that's used across the country. So it basically just have to look for the number in the symbol.
And if a resident happens to put a 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 7 into the recycling can, what happens then?
A couple of things could happen.
Okay.
Right now, we're trying to increase our surveillance efforts to identify and find those items. It may be, if it's something very simple, we may be able to go ahead and take it out and still collect the recyclables. Or, after several occurrences of that, we may, give you a notice saying, we didn't take your recyclables today, and this is the reason why. So, we're trying to have a little grace period in this and transition to help educate people.
The point is,
so we're still taking stuff.
Absolutely.
It's just whether it's going to go to the landfill or go to a recycling facility may depend on the level of contamination, and if we can clean it out, or if it's too much, then it's going to go to the landfill.
And if you have questions or concerns, is it okay to call you guys here? Because that's the whole process. We want to educate the City of Goldsboro on the do's and the don'ts with respect to recycling. As you said, when in doubt,
Throw it out.
thank you, City of Goldsboro.